Next Tuesday, students will be actually presenting the information they learned about each of the gods that we've been researching for about the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. We've gone to the computer lab 3 times. We've practiced taking notes, entering information into a chart to show where our research came from, and then entering our data into Noodle tools to show how to cite our sources. So now it's time to actually present the information. So on Monday, I actually dressed up like a god, Dionysus, and modeled for students how they should be presenting to class. They're going to actually pretend that they are their god or goddess. They need to come dressed like their god or goddess, and they need to have props that show symbols that represent their god or goddess. Along with that, they're going to need some kind of a visual, a smartboard presentation, PowerPoint, Prezi, a video that they're going to use to help the rest of the class take notes on the information they learned about their god. So this is an example of what I did for Dionysus. My name's Dionysus, but I'm also known to the Romans as Bacchus. This is me with my dad Zeus. Back in our day, we didn't really have portraits and photographs and cameras, so they actually took a sculpture and created one of my father holding me. Now, my father Zeus, he's actually married to Hera, who was the queen of the gods, but he wasn't very faithful to her. And so my mom is Semele, and she was actually a mortal woman, so I wasn't a true god, and I didn't actually live on Mount Olympus with the rest of the other gods. The realm that I'm known to be associated with, the areas that I ruled, I was the god of wine, the god of joy, the god of the theater. So if you were an actor and you were performing in a play that night, because we didn't really have movie theaters, the form of entertainment that we did is on Friday night we'd all get together and go watch a play. So if you were an actor working in the theater, you might pray or make an offering to me right before your performance with the hopes that I would bless you and honor you with a good performance. So I became the patron god of the theater, and I was also the god of revelry, which was just fun and partying. And so you can see a lot of times when I was in paintings or pictures, they'd show me with a wine goblet, some grapes, and I had a little wreath around my head with some grapes in it. So some more symbols of me. We already talked about grapes or a wine glass or a wine barrel. My animal, my sacred animal, was a panther, and I didn't bring him to class today because I was afraid he was going to hurt everybody. He's not really good with kids, so I didn't bring him, but that's what he looks like. I also carried a staff that looked like this, and it had a snake intertwined around it. And I'm also associated with the masks that you might see at the theater. Some illusions in your society that you might have related to me. Dionysus wine distributors. There are many wine companies and wineries and wine distributors that are named for me, also using my Roman name Bacchus. And that makes sense because I was the god of wine. Also, down here, you'll see that there's a theater in Houston, Texas that's named after me, the Dionysus Theater. And if you look very closely in this picture, you can see the masks that are associated with me. So that was a pretty big honor for them to name their theater after me. I also found this Dionysus Records company, and we think that this here is a picture of a satyr. Satyrs were little goat men who used to like to come and hang out with me and have fun and party. And so we thought Dionysus Records, when we think about having fun and getting together, there's always music involved. So it makes sense that a record company would use my name. And then I found a couple other cartoons here. This one shows all the gods and goddesses sitting around a table with me. And it says, while Zeus is indisposed, who would like to take over as god of wine? And then another picture over here is a painting that this woman named Michelle Krasny did on her blog, and she actually had a bunch of us when we were little kids. And this is a picture of me with a little grape juice box, and that's kind of cute because that's probably what I was like quite a bit. So this is what your presentation should look like. Notice there are no words or no sentences or phrases and punctuation. It's just little bits of ideas. And when you present, you'll actually be speaking.